Shalom, shalom, shalom. First and foremost, I would like to give all praise, honor, and glory due to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rakak Wadash. Double honors to our elders and apostles of GMS Great Millstone who teach and rule well. Shalom, shalom. And this is Brother Nabala here with another lesson. All right. And pretty much, as you see here, it says Eve shares dream of no food and no power. All right. And, the scriptures talk about these things taking place. All right. It talks about a famine, great tribulation. All right, in the book of Second Esdras, the book of Ezekiel, how the Lord is gonna break the bread of thy staff, which is pretty much a famine. All right, so all these things are spoken of in the scriptures, man. All right, so what she's saying here is pretty is prophetic. All right, because we're in a time where Yahweh Bashim Shai is pouring His Spirit upon all flesh. All right. So we're going to get this video in the spiritual here because the length of the video is 144, all right? And, pretty much, this lady's just having a vision, of what it says, all right? Of no food and no power, all right? And this is from the Hopeful Elect 3, all right? You brothers should like and subscribe. The brother posts very, 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 informative videos, man, beautiful videos, all right? So I'm gonna play the video and get into some scriptures, all right? And Lord's will, you brothers and sisters will be edified.
I've had this dream 2 times. I had this dream some years ago, and I also had it this year. And I want to warn people to pray because God give us dreams so that we can, number one, be prepared, or number two, pray against it. Okay? So this is the dream I had. In the dream, I was trying to call my mother, but I couldn't because there was no phone service. It was no Wi-Fi. There was no electricity. There was no food. That's the way it was. I couldn't get a hold of nobody. Me and my husband, we was outside and we was talking. And we was complaining about the situation that was going on. There was no supplies. It was another dream I had. There was nothing in the stores, not even cleaning supplies. Everything was gone. Food, gone. The stores were empty. No electricity. It was horrible. Please pray. Please pray. This is a warning from God. Thank you.
All right, so she said, pretty much the storehouses were empty. All right, so man, this is a very prophetic, dream or vision that she had, which will come to pass. Okay, so as always, let's start off with this. In Joel 2:28, it says, "And it shall come to pass afterward that I will pour out my spirit upon all flesh." All right, and Yahweh Bashim Shai, when He pours out His spirit upon all flesh, all right, even the heathens can have visions. All right, they can have prophetic visions in dreams. All right, so Yahweh Bashim Shai, when He pours out His flesh, all right, it's just not just not with Jake. All right, there's times where he pours out His flesh upon the heathen as well to give off a message. Okay, it says Joel 2:28, "And it shall come to pass afterward that I will pour out my spirit upon all flesh, and your sons and your daughters shall prophesy. Your old men shall dream dreams, your young men shall see visions, and also upon the servants, upon the handmaids, in those days will I pour out my spirit." All right, and this is beautiful because this is what Yahweh Bashim Shai is doing right now. He's pouring out His spirit. All right, and I've been seeing nothing, but videos, being posted of people, having, prophetic visions and prophetic dreams, man. All right. there was a dream that a guy had, pretty much when he's talking about the nuclear missiles, hitting Babylon the Great. All right, which is prophetic. That's prophetic. All right, it tells you, in the book of Isaiah, Jeremiah, about the missiles, Revelations, you know. So, we're in those times, man. We're in the last days. All right. So let's go here to let's go to the book of Ezekiel. What is it? Is it Ezekiel 7? Uh, no, Ezekiel. Was it Ezekiel? No, not Ezekiel 7. It's Ezekiel 14. Yeah, Ezekiel 14, and we will start at. Let's see, 14 and 12. This is Ezekiel 14 and 12. And it says, the word of Yahweh Bashim Shai came again to me, saying, all right, son of man, when the land sinneth against me by trespassing grievously, then will I stretch out my hand upon it, and will break the bread of staff thereof, and will send famine upon it, and will cut off man and beast. All right? So, that bread of staff, is pretty much getting into the food. All right? Pretty much, getting in, Yahweh Shema Shai is about to, cut man and beast off from their food, man, to bringing forth famine. All right? Because, that's pretty much, that's judgment. That's punishment, man, from, all the iniquity and the sin that's going on here, in Babylon the Great. All right? All the sin, man, that's judgment. So Yahweh Shema Shai is going to cause a lot of people to suffer, man. All right, in these last days, we ultimately know, this is all the doings of Yahweh Bashim Yahushai. All right, even though these famines are what's the word called, pretty much orchestrated. All right, the scriptures say that Yahweh Bashim Yahushai ruleth. What does it say? Yahweh Bashim Yahushai ruleth in the kingdom of men, if I'm not mistaken. Roughly paraphrasing, all right? Yahweh Shema Shai controls their thoughts, all right? So, with these famines and these things coming upon this place, man, this is all the doings of Yahweh Shema Shai, man, and it's beautiful to see, all right? There was another one in Ezekiel, is Ezekiel 15. Hold on, let me see here. I think I got it pinned up. No, it's 5 and 16. 5 in verse 16, and it says, when I shall send upon them the evil arrows of famine, which shall be for the destruction. You see? So the famine is for the destruction, man. A lot of people are going to perish, in that time, man. All right? People are going to starve. All right? People are going to starve. The scripture says it's better, roughly paraphrasing, it's better for you to die by the sword than, to perish of starvation. Roughly paraphrasing, man. And it says, in which I will send to destroy you, and I will increase the famine upon you, and will break your bread of staff. You see? So I will send upon you famine and evil beasts, and they shall bereave thee, and pestilence and blood shall pass through thee, and I will bring the sword upon thee. I, Yahweh Shema Shai, spoken. All right? So Yahweh Shema Shai, man, is going to bring them evil arrows of famine, man. He's bringing it here, to the land of Babylon the Great. All right, a place, of iniquity, bloodshed, all right, as punishment, all right, as it says here, it says, which shall be be for their destruction, all right, to destroy you. So you're gonna have a lot of people, man, withering away, man, all right, from these famines that are gonna take place. And if you don't have Yahweh Bashim Shai with you, then you're through, all right. So let's get one more scripture, all right. I'm kind of on a tight time, I gotta go back in a minute. Let's get 2nd Esdras 6 and 22, because she mentioned that the store, pretty much the store, the storehouses are going to be empty. There was no food. There was no cleaning chemicals, no nothing. So it says here, and suddenly shall the sown places appear unsown. It says the full storehouses shall suddenly be found empty. You see? So they should, it be suddenly be empty, man. All right, the storehouses shall be suddenly be empty, man. All right, which is a famine. All right, and a famine pretty much gets into a lack of resources. All right, so this is all orchestrated. This is all, a controlled famine that Esau Edom is doing. But again, like I said, Yahweh Bashim Shai, ruleth in the minds. Rule it. What does the scripture say? Now I gotta get it. Damn. Let me see. He ruleth in the kingdom of men. He ruleth in the kingdom of men. Let me see. This is Daniel 4:17. It says, this matter is by the decree of the watchers and the demand by the word of the holy ones, to intent that the living may know that the Most High ruleth in the kingdom of men, and giveth to whosoever he will, and setteth up over it the basis of men. All right, but the point is, he ruleth in the kingdom of men, man. So he, he controls, everything that's going on. All right. He controls everything that's going on, man. Whether you think that whether you think that this is all Esau Edom just doing this, or you just think that it's just Mother Nature, or whatever people say, these bugged out things that people say, this is all the doings of Yahweh Bashim Yahushai, man. All right. So, with that being said, I pray that this lesson was edifying to you, brothers and sisters out there. All right. And once again, I want to give all praise, honor, and glory due to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahushai, Bahashem, Rakakwadash, once again. And once again, double honors to our elders and apostles of James, Great Millstone, and teaching them well. This is Brother Nabala. Shalom, shalom.